what it is to be a Sunderland fan now as we settle for a nice point away at Fleetwood Town, a team that 10 years ago weren't even in the Football League, I don't think. So, yeah, Sunderland draw 1-1 with Fleetwood Town at Highbury. Just really difficult one to digest tonight. It was a terrible game. First and foremost, it was awful from start to finish. Fleetwood looked awful. Sunderland looked equally as poor in the first half. Nothing ultimately happened other than a potential penalty shout for Josh Scowen, and there was a bit of debate in the old Roker Report group chat, but I think we largely all seem to agree that it was not a penalty. It looked more like Scowen got his feet mixed up. So anyway, we're going to half time at 0-0. And kind of just thinking, yeah, maybe make a change at half time, maybe take a little bit of a risk. Of course, Phil Parkinson didn't. And as you'll see, the graphic for today's video is Jurassic Parkinson, and I think that kind of suits my feelings for Phil Parkinson over the last 12 months, but the last few weeks in particular. Joey Barton made some changes at half time. Sunderland just, kind of sat off that one for a while. I know Parkinson doesn't like make changes, but we did actually take the lead in the second half. A long ball from Tom Flanagan, really poorly defended by Fleetwood, and Charlie Whitelaw puts his head where he could have got hurt, and fair play to him for that, because last week I kind of criticised him for not doing that against Doncaster, but he did. Today he put his head in where it hurts, he got himself a goal, and 1-0, you're kind of just thinking, well, let's just see where it goes from here. Neither team had really shown much, but from that point on, Fleetwood pressed. Joey Barton, he was relentless with his subs. He made 3 substitutions at one point, just literally after Fleetwood actually equalised as well. So, yeah, 59 minutes White scores, and then I think it was the 73rd minute Fleetwood scored. It was terrible defending. We just looked absolutely panicked at the back there for about 10 minutes until Fleetwood actually got that goal. And as I said, Joey Barton made 3 substitutions at that point, and then he finished off his subs, I think, in the 79th minute. So he used all 5. Sunderland's first sub came in the 70th minute, and it was Danny Graham, a striker who hasn't scored a league goal this season, coming off for Will Grigg, who has not scored a league goal this season. So the answer to our problems of creativity to try and get a winner when we barely created a chance all game was to change 2 strikers, well, 1 striker for another striker, who haven't scored goals this season. Just let that one sink in there. We made one more change in the 87th minute, and it was to bring a central midfielder on for an attacking midfielder. We've got Elliot Embleton on the bench. We've also got Jack Diamond on the bench. You just, would like to think that them 2 players might get a chance to come on, but wasn't to be tonight. But it's frustrating because I think as Sunderland fans, when we saw Lyndon Gooch go down injured, we sort of thought, okay, well, this is a chance for either Jack Diamond or Elliot Embleton to get in and play some minutes, especially with Aidan O'Brien out injured. But no, the tactics today from the outset was to bring Danny Graham in, and to me that just doesn't make any sense. Well, why would you swap Lyndon Gooch for Danny Graham? I don't understand. I can't understand the thinking behind that. And the fact is Danny Graham in the game was poor. I mean, I don't want to hammer the lad too much, but I think I've seen him play probably 50 games for Sunderland now, and I've literally seen nothing. That's Premier League, that's down to League One, that's cup games. He scored 1 goal, and to be honest, I would have scored that one because it just literally hit off him and went in. I scored 1 in the Checker Trade Trophy as well, I think. So fair play to him. We scored against Aston Villa in the 23s. But I think it's really difficult just right now to even motivate yourself. I mean, to be honest, it was hard for me even watching the game. A lot of me was flicking through my phone, getting involved in group chats, talking about how boring it was. I just couldn't get interested in the match. And the worst of it is, it was there for the taking. It was there for the taking. It was the same as the Doncaster game. Fleetwood will probably not play as bad as that again this season, and we just can't capitalise on that. And it's really frustrating. And you don't want to hark on about the manager all the time, but you just can't help but think, surely the people who are in charge of this football club are watching that and thinking, do you know what, somebody could do a better job than that. Because as fans, I'm sorry, a game in which there wasn't much in it, surely you bring on your most creative players. Surely you do. And instead, what he actually did was, of the 2 substitutions he made, he took off a creative player and he just swapped like for like. And it doesn't make any sense to me. He's reluctant to change his formation. You know, I think when the game was at 1-1, or certainly when the game was at 0-0, you know, could you not go, well, maybe we'll switch to a 4 at the back and maybe try and push another man forward? And he's so reluctant to do that. And when you've got a manager who's trying to shoehorn everyone into his formation rather than actually working out what's best for the team, you've got a serious problem. A serious problem. So, I would do player ratings and manager ratings, but to be honest, there wasn't even enough that happened in the game to really justify doing that. Like, yeah, fair enough, Charlie Wyke, he scored a goal. There wasn't another player on the pitch that I thought particularly played well or bad. I think the defence did absolutely awful, and the midfield for that matter, did awfully for Fleetwood's goal. I think Fleetwood deserved to win the game. I think they hit the bar, and they had a shot that went off like the stanchion behind the goal. There was literally nothing that happened. Will Grigg missed the sitter as well, but that's par for the course at the minute. But yeah, it's just hard. I think as Sunderland fans right now, we're in a horrible position whereby we're in limbo with this takeover, which may or may not go through. You know, the chatterings you hear, or that, you know, it's imminent and it's going to happen the next few weeks. But man, we've been here before. You know, I was there last year when like the Dell people were getting shown around and that didn't happen. So we're just stuck, because I don't think they'll make a managerial change while there's takeover talk going on. I don't know if they can afford to get rid of the manager unless there's a takeover, because if Parkinson's on 6 figures and he's got a contract there in the next season, it's going to cost a lot of money, and the club's losing money at the minute because there's nobody allowed in the stadiums. It's yeah. Oh, actually, I did forget, McFadzean came on for Hume as well. Another like-for-like substitution. I forgot to include that one before, so apologies on that one. So, what does the manager get today? You know, I didn't really rate the players, so there's not much point in it. But the manager, I think he got his tactics wrong. And we've got a game Tuesday, and you would think that he would want him to rotate just to have freshness for the game on Tuesday. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You've got 5 substitutions there to make, and Joey Barton was proactive in his substitutions, and we need a manager who's proactive in their substitutions. I just don't think it's rocket science, and I feel like if us fans are able to just pick out little things, and like, you're even watching the commentary, and you can tell that Danny Collins is picking out the things, and he's saying, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, you know, I think we should get Embleton in our area. You know, he's picking it out. So it isn't just us, you know, he's experienced, he's been in the Premier League. It's just beggars belief. I can't get my head around the fact that we sit here every week and watch Sunderland play, and every week we all point out the same things, and every week he doesn't learn from his mistakes. Last week against Doncaster, he didn't make substitutions until too late. This week he made 3 substitutions, 1 in the 70th minute and 2 in the 87th minute. How is that going to impact the game? Especially too when the substitutions didn't change the system or anything. Like, how is that going to make a difference? And it's hard. It's just hard to get your head around. Like, this bloke's managed for 15 years, and I've almost lost for words. So I think I'm just going to wrap this one up, because I'm just going to get myself more and more angry. And I'm recording a Roker report tomorrow, and there's plenty of time for me to get the shite off my chest, because it's hard going at the minute being a Sunderland fan. And I applaud all of you for watching and sitting through that. It's even worse when you can't go to the games either. So yeah, that's me tuning out on this one. Hopefully this was more enjoyable than the 94 minutes that we've just had to endure.